Have you ever wondered where all your time goes? Not just the hours on your clock, but the moments of your life. The ones that vanish in traffic jams, the ones that dissolve in meaningless conversations, the ones that disappear while you scroll, lost in a digital haze. We wake up, we work, we eat, we sleep, and then we do it all over again. But in the quiet spaces, in the stillness between the noise, there's a question that whispers to us. Am I really living, or am I just passing time? 2,000 years ago, a Stoic philosopher sat with that same question. His name was Lucius Annaeus Seneca, a Roman statesman, writer, and teacher who witnessed the chaos of empire and the volatility of human ambition. But instead of chasing more, he turned inward. He asked, "What is time, really, and why do we treat it like it's infinite, when it's the one thing we are always running out of?" In his timeless essay on the shortness of life, Seneca doesn't scold, he reveals. He exposes the invisible ways we surrender our hours, the unconscious rituals that steal our days, and the gentle lie we tell ourselves. There's always tomorrow, but what if there isn't? I'll take this in segments to help it sink in. Segment 1. The time illusion. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca. Welcome, listener. Let's pause, just for a moment. Not to scroll, not to react, but simply to reflect. Take a breath with me. How often do you hear yourself say, "I just don't have the time"? We race through our days, checking notifications, replying to messages, chasing deadlines, hurrying from one task to the next as though life itself were a to-do list. We multitask our way through meals. We fill every silence with noise. We move, but rarely arrive. But what if the problem isn't the number of hours in the day? What if it's not the lack of time that weighs on us, but the lack of presence? What if we've mistaken being busy for being alive? Today, we're going to step outside that constant rush, and we're going to listen, not to a new app, not to a productivity hack, but to a voice from nearly 2,000 years ago. A voice that still echoes with clarity and urgency. The voice of Seneca, a Roman Stoic philosopher, a man who saw time not as a commodity to be spent or saved, but as something far more sacred. He warned us that it's not that life is short, but that we waste much of it. So today, let's not waste this moment. Let's explore what it means to reclaim our time, not by doing more, but by being fully here, right now. You're exactly where you need to be. Let's begin. Segment 2. The currency of life. Imagine this with me for a moment. What if time were the purest form of currency? Not something we can earn more of, not something we can borrow or save up for a rainy day. Time is the only currency we're given in a lump sum, unknown in amount, and we spend it moment by moment, whether we're conscious of it or not. Each second, each minute, gone the instant it arrives. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once wrote, "People are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy." Think about that. We protect our money with passwords, firewalls, and bank vaults. We guard our homes with locks, alarms, even security cameras. But time we give away like loose change. We trade it for endless scrolling. We hand it over to distractions that pull us away from what truly matters. We surrender it to obligations we never truly chose, meetings, messages, mindless routines. And worst of all, we let our habits, the unconscious loops we run every day, hollow us out, minute by minute. So let me ask you, What would happen if we treated time like money? What if every minute mattered to us the way every dollar does? What if we set boundaries, not just around our calendars, but around our attention? What if we guarded our time, not out of fear, but out of reverence? Because once spent, time doesn't return. There are no refunds, no loans, no second chances. Only now, only this moment, only the awareness to spend it well. Segment 3. The quiet theft of tomorrow. Every time you say, "I'll do it tomorrow," you're making a quiet transaction. It doesn't feel like much. It slips by unnoticed, like a coin falling into a dark well. But make no mistake, something is being spent. You are trading your potential for comfort. You are giving away the only moment you truly own. This one, the now. And in return, you get the illusion of ease, the lie of later. But tomorrow has no face. Tomorrow has made no promises to you. Seneca, the ancient philosopher, gave us a warning, one we often nod at, then forget. While we are postponing, life speeds by. Let it settle. Not crawls, not meanders, speeds. The danger isn't in dreaming. Dreams are the lifeblood of the soul. The danger is in deferring, in telling your dreams, not yet. In putting off the life you long for, like it's a task that will wait politely on a shelf. But time doesn't wait, neither do the opportunities it carries. So let me ask you, gently but directly, what dreams have you delayed so long that they now sound like echoes from another lifetime? What part of you has gone dim from waiting? And who might you become if you simply began today? The answer is best imagined. You don't need the whole plan. You just need the courage to start. Right here, right now. Because your future is quietly being written in the choices you make today. Segment 4. Time and self-awareness. Let's pause and consider this. Understanding how you spend your time is understanding yourself. Every moment of your day, every hour filled, every minute spent, is a mirror. A mirror reflecting back what you truly prioritize, what you avoid, what you chase, and what you settle for. Now think about this. Our behaviors, the way we scroll endlessly through our phones, the way we bounce from task to task, constantly distracted. These aren't just bad habits we need to fix. They're clues. They're data points. Each action is a signal, a reflection of our mental state, our emotional needs, our unspoken beliefs. When you're multitasking, maybe you're not just busy, maybe you're avoiding silence. When you're scrolling late into the night, maybe you're not just bored, maybe you're craving connection. This is why time management isn't just about getting more done. It's not about better apps, tighter schedules, or color-coded calendars. Time management is really self-management. It's the quiet, courageous art of being honest with yourself about what matters most, what deserves your energy, what deserves your attention, what truly deserves your time. Because when you look at your calendar, you're not just looking at appointments or reminders, you're looking at your values in action. Your calendar is a diary of decisions, a map of what you've chosen to care about. So ask yourself, does it align with who you want to be? Or is it just a reflection of who you've been too distracted to question? Let's take a moment to dismantle a myth that's quietly but powerfully shaping how many of us live. It's the belief that if I'm busy, I must be valuable. We've all felt it. That subtle pressure to stay constantly occupied, to fill every spare moment with action, with hustle, with doing. But it's wrong. The Stoic philosopher Seneca warned us long ago. No activity can be successfully pursued by an individual who is preoccupied. Let that sink in. We often wear busyness like a badge of honor, as if it's proof of our worth or our ambition. But what if, more often than not, it's actually a mask, a distraction, a way to avoid asking the deeper, harder questions that rise up in moments of stillness? Questions like, who am I becoming? Why am I really doing this? What matters most beneath all the noise? You see, there's a difference between motion and meaning, between being busy and making progress, between effort and alignment. Stillness, true, intentional stillness, is not laziness. It's not a weakness. It's not falling behind. It's where clarity is born. It's where wisdom has space to speak. And it's where we remember that our value is not measured by the number of things we check off a to-do list. So today, I invite you, don't just do more, be more with your time. Let stillness shape you before the world rushes in again. Segment 6. Saying no is saying yes to yourself. Each time you say yes to someone else's urgency, you are, perhaps without realizing it, saying no to something vital, your own growth. You may not feel it immediately. The task might seem small. The request might seem reasonable. But those small, reasonable yeses, they add up. And soon, your calendar becomes crowded, not with your goals, but with everyone else's expectations. The Stoic philosopher Seneca once warned us about the cost of living reactively. He challenged us to live deliberately, to act with intention, not impulse. And that, dear listener, means having the courage to set boundaries. Picture your day as a sacred temple, a space built not of bricks, but of hours. Every morning, its doors open to possibility. Its halls are silent, waiting to be filled with meaning. Now ask yourself, would you let just anyone wander in and scroll their name across those sacred walls? Would you let noise, obligation, and busyness trample the floors you meant to walk with purpose? Of course not. So why do we let distractions, meetings that don't matter, emails that can wait, favors we don't have the energy for, why do we let those things hijack our hours? It's not just about time, it's about direction. When you say no, firmly, kindly, and with intention, you're not being selfish. You're saying yes to your deeper priorities. You're saying yes to clarity, yes to rest, yes to progress. You're saying yes to becoming the person you're meant to be. Protecting your time is not about building walls. It's about opening the right doors. Because when you guard your time, you're not just defending a schedule, you are protecting your future self. Segment 7. Reclaiming the present moment. Pause, take a breath with me, let it come in, and let it go. Most of us live in 3 places. The first is the past, a land of memories, of mistakes, of moments we revisit again and again, even though we can never change them. We replay conversations, we regret decisions, we cling to joys long gone. But the past is a shadow. It no longer exists, except in the theater of our minds. The second is the future, a land of plans, of worries, of dreams we haven't yet lived. We chase outcomes, try to predict the unpredictable, live for a time that has not yet arrived and may never arrive the way we imagine. The future is a mirage, always just a little farther out of reach. And then there's the present, the only place where life actually happens, the only moment that is real. And yet, we often ignore it. We treat the now as a bridge, a mere waiting room between where we've been and where we're going. We rush through it, numb to it, distracted from it. But Seneca once wrote, "Life is long if you know how to use it." What did he mean? He meant that time isn't measured by clocks or calendars. It's measured in attention. in presence, in how deeply we are willing to engage with the life that is right here, right now. So I invite you, notice this moment. Not the one before it, not the one coming next. This one. Right now, you're breathing. Right now, your heart is beating. Right now, you are changing, unfolding, becoming. Right now, you are alive. And this moment, this sliver of time you're standing in, is the only moment that truly belongs to you. You don't have to fix the past. You don't have to predict the future. You only have to be here. So breathe again and reclaim the present moment. It's been waiting for you all along. Segment 8. Who are you becoming with your time? Take a breath and listen closely. Every moment you live, every action you take, every habit you repeat, every idle hour you let slip by, it's not just passing time, it's casting a vote for the person you are becoming. You're not simply spending time, you're shaping identity, day by day, quietly, steadily, and often without noticing. When Seneca wrote about time, he wasn't just concerned with how much of it we have. He didn't plead for you to live longer. He urged you to live better, to live deliberately, with clarity, with depth, with presence. So, let me ask you, as Seneca might, when you scroll, when you procrastinate, when you avoid the hard thing, who are you voting for? And on the other side, when you choose discipline, when you engage in honest reflection, when you commit to a craft or offer someone your full attention, who are you becoming? Think for a moment. Are your daily choices shaping you into someone you admire, someone you'd be proud to meet 5 years from now? Or are you quietly becoming someone you're settling for, out of convenience, out of fear, or out of habit? Because here's the truth. Identity is not found. It's forged, choice by choice, hour by hour. Time spent wisely isn't just about productivity. It's about intention. It's about integrity. It's about aligning your minutes with your values, your attention with your aspirations. So as this day unfolds, ask yourself not just what you're doing, but who it's turning you into. Because every hour you live is a chisel, and you are the sculpture. Mortality is not morbid, it's motivating. We don't like to think about death. Most of us push the thought aside. It's uncomfortable, even scary, but the Stoic philosopher Seneca didn't avoid it. He welcomed it, not out of some morbid fascination, but because he understood that remembering death can actually wake us up to life. He wrote, "You live as if you are destined to live forever." Let that sink in for a moment. We rush, we postpone, we assume we have time. But what if we didn't? What if instead of being paralyzed by the thought of death, we let it motivate us? What if we stopped treating each day like a disposable page in a calendar and started seeing it for what it truly is, a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity? Death, uncomfortable as it may be, is the ultimate clarity. It strips away the noise. It reveals what truly matters. Because here's the truth. Each day, this day, is a gift you will never unwrap again. It won't repeat itself. It won't wait for you to be ready. So rather than fearing death, let it fuel you. Let it remind you that time is not just passing, it's precious. Wake up, show up, live on purpose, and let the awareness of your mortality bring you even closer to the fullness of life. Number 4, take a breath. Modern life tells us, again and again, do more, have more, be more. It whispers that rest is laziness, that stillness is stagnation, that quiet is a void to be filled. But there's an ancient voice, calmer, clearer, calling from the past. The Stoic philosopher Seneca spoke of sufficiency, not as a trend, not as a curated aesthetic, but as a way of being. He didn't speak of less for the sake of less, but of enough as an invitation, a threshold to a different kind of abundance. Because enough is not a restriction. It's not the border of what you're allowed. It's the doorway to peace. When we stop chasing, we start noticing. When we stop filling every silence, we start hearing what's real. And then, something beautiful happens. The small things, the overlooked, the ordinary moments, they begin to glow. A simple sip of tea becomes a ritual. A walk, without music, without a phone, becomes a rediscovery. A conversation, unhurried, with someone who truly sees you, becomes a kind of homecoming. This is the joy of enough. Not deprivation, but deep presence. Not less life, but more of what matters. So, pause, let go, and listen. Enough might be exactly what you've been searching for all along. Segment 11. The practice of time reflection. So, how do we actually live this out? How do we bring intention to something as fluid and as relentless as time? Not by waiting for a sweeping transformation, not through one grand, dramatic change, but through something far more quiet, far more powerful. Tiny, honest practices. Each night, just before the day closes, take a moment, pause, and ask yourself a simple question. How did I spend today? Let it be an open question, gentle, not harsh, curious, not condemning. Was I present? Did I move through this day awake? Or was I just checking boxes, going through the motions? Did I use my time with intention, or did it slip unnoticed through my fingers? This nightly reflection, it isn't about guilt. It isn't about shame. It's not about judging the day as good or bad. It's about alignment. It's about closing the gap between what we say matters to us and how we actually lived. It's a kind of moral inventory, yes, but not the moralism of right or wrong. This is about truth, about clarity, about coming home to yourself. Because when you reflect each day, you begin to remember what matters. And more importantly, you begin to live it. Not someday, not next month, not when life is less busy, but daily, in the ordinary hours, in the small, quiet choices. And with time, those small moments, that nightly reflection, becomes a compass, pointing you home. In conclusion, the art of living fully now. Let's return to the timeless wisdom of Seneca, one of the great Stoic thinkers of ancient Rome. He reminds us, with piercing clarity, begin at once to live and count each separate day as a separate life. Let those words sink in, not tomorrow, not next week, not after you've figured everything out. Begin now. Right now, this very moment is your new beginning. The next hour, it's not just another passing interval. It is a canvas, wide open, untouched, waiting. What will you paint on it? Will it be colored with presence, creativity, boldness, or quiet peace? Will it carry the brushstrokes of courage, laughter, rest, connection? Time is not your enemy. It's not a thief sneaking away with your days. No, it is a generous friend, one that offers itself to you, not in bulk, not in blocks, but gently, moment by moment. Each moment, a chance each breath an opening. And perhaps the greatest act of self-development isn't in mastering skills or chasing perfection or filling every second with productivity, but in this: to honor the gift of time itself, to live this day as if it were a life of its own, to step into your hours fully, with presence, with intention, with gratitude, to move through your minutes not just to get through them, but to experience them. Live fully, live fiercely, live freely, not later, not someday, today, because this is where life is waiting, and it is ready whenever you are. So my friend, if this reflection stirred something within you, even just a flicker, I invite you to take a moment now, not to scroll, not to distract yourself with the next thing, but to simply be here, with yourself, with this. Let the noise fade, let the pace slow. Feel the breath as it moves through you. Let this be a pause, not just in your day, but in your spirit. Now, choose one thing, just one action you'll take today, not out of habit, not because you should, but because it aligns with who you're becoming. Do it intentionally, do it deeply, do it fully, because every step, every breath, every conscious choice, they all build something, a life, a path, a meaning that's yours alone. And if this kind of reflection speaks to you, if you're drawn to grow not just harder, but wiser and truer, then I invite you to stay connected, subscribe, follow, whatever keeps us linked, because I'll be here, continuing to share, to question, to walk beside you, one meaningful moment at a time.